It may not be the sexiest position, but we gotta show some love for the hog mollies, and today we'll be talking about the ones on the defensive side of the football. With the Senior Bowl fast approaching, I can assure you the battle along the trenches will be a must watch, and here are the names you need to know. And what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse with lists like these. I'm sure I'm going to forget some names, and I want to discuss them in the comment section. So let's go ahead and do that. Quick, a special thanks to today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you like weekly fantasy or maybe player prop bets and such, they don't just do football, but they do all kinds of sports, then check out Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Broshmo when you sign up, and they'll hook you up to get you started on your betting journey. But remember, my friends, bet responsibly. Let's go ahead, get into number 10, Kobe Turner out of Wake Forest. He's 6'3", 290. He is a 6-year senior, so he's a bit up there in age, but this dude is a high motor player. He actually used to play for the Richmond Spiders, and I think he did that for about, that was 5 years there, and then he was a grad transfer to Wake Forest. This is his first year seeing FBS play, and you know what? He was kind of good. He kind of was, man. This guy, he plays strong, he plays tough, and he plays nasty. I like it. He's a tone setter on the defensive line. He plays with violence. He's extremely strong in his lower half. He could just mow down blockers when he needs to. He's got a very devastating bull rush, plays with a lot of discipline, execute his assignments well. He's the guy that was praised by both the Richmond and Wake Forest coaching staff, both for his character, his leadership, and his work ethic. This is a guy that's first in the film room in the morning and then last to leave the practice field at the end of the day. Now, he isn't a high-end athlete, and that kind of shows up in terms of his lateral ability. He's very much a very north and south type of guy, probably more ideally a 3-tech penetrator. And again, he is a bit on the older side, but he is just good football player. On number 9, and we got Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin. He will be at the Senior Bowl. By the way, Kobe Turner, I think, will be at the Shrine, but Keanu Bennett, 6'4", 315, had a solid season, 6 sacks, 28 pressures, and this is a cat that the NFL is going to love this guy's mentality, and they're going to love his physicality. He plays strong, violent hands, combines that with very good get off, excellent balance as well, uses his hands well. He's got a wrestling background, so it's kind of like, okay, so he can fight off blockers very effectively with his hands. You see that in the tape, and it's like, it must be the wrestling background, right? His eyes always stay in the backfield, does a great job of just staying in the play. You see a good bit of versatility with him along the defensive line, plays with a hot motor, and he's a very sure tackler. However, you look at that 6'4", and he does struggle sometimes getting leverage. There are times in the run game where he can just be carried out of the play by more technically sound blockers or interior players, and even in the passing game, he can get stonewalled because he just plays too high. I think he's probably preferably a one gap type of guy, but I can't wait to see this guy at the Senior Bowl, because I'm telling you, that intro wasn't just BS. Like, the trenches is going to be the position battles to watch at the Senior Bowl. You're getting a studded offensive line versus studded defensive line prospects. It's going to be a banger. I don't know why I said it like that way. A banger. There we go. On to number 8. We got Jerzon Newton out of Illinois. I checked this up before I recorded this video. You're seeing this the morning after, I guess. I did it last night. So you're seeing this, was it Wednesday morning? By the way, doing a mock draft later today. So I checked to see if this guy declared or not, because there is a chance that he ends up returning. But as of now, no word on it. But 6'2", 295, and he's got some brothers that have played college ball. With probably the most notable one, he has a cousin, Pro Wells. If you remember him from a few cycles ago in the draft process, he was a tight end from TCU. played for the Bengals for a little bit. He's actually currently now in the USFL, but this cat has been laying havoc. He was almost immediately a star. At least early in his freshman season, he got into the starting rotation, and then you go to like 2021, 11 starts. You go to this year, played every game. He was a second team all freaking American. He is constantly playing with his hair on fire. He's easy to find on the field. He's got the dreads. He's got the predator look going, and like this dude pins his ears back and just shoots into the opposing backfield. He has very good explosiveness and closes the gap between him and ball carriers extremely fast. I love that not necessarily pursuit speed, but that closing speed between him and the ball carriers. He uses quick hands and quick feet to defeat blocks relatively early. He was 7th among defensive linemen in pressures, and then he was 2nd among defensive interior players in pressures this past season. He's also more flexible than your typical interior guy. Like, this is a guy that I've seen in cases get like legit bend on the outside off of certain plays, and it's just like, wow, man, this guy can move. He's got quick feet, quick hands, but he does lack ideal length. I think that's going to be a big one of his bigger concerns, because there are times he just kind of gets washed out of the run game, because he does struggle to disengage at times. I don't necessarily see this considering what he's put on tape. I'm not so worried about this as a concern for him. Like, he may not be a versatile piece, like a guy that probably you won't want inside of the 3 tech, so he's not going to be anywhere really near the A gap or the 0 tech, but I think he could be a penetrating 3 tech. I think he could play wide as a little wider as a 5 tech or a 3-4 end. So like, I see that type of versatility, and like, he might not be good for all schemes, but what you're getting, man, is a real high octane player. Even, dude, if he returns, I think there's a good shot that we could talk about him as an early day 2, maybe even fringe first rounder for the 2024 class. But right now, I've got a 3rd round projection on him. And then on to Karl Brooks. This has actually been a favorite of mine, and I've talked about him quite a bit on the channel. He was initially, I listed him as like a D-line, but he was among my edge rankings, and I was like, you know what, if this dude's really 300 pounds, like, he looks like he's probably like 275, 280, so he does got some weight to him, but like, if he ends up being 300 pounds, it's like, this guy needs to go with the interior, or on the interior list. So 6'4", 300 pounds, 5 years, 5th year senior from Bowling Green, was initially not ranked as a recruit, but holy moly, he has been great for Bowling Green his whole career. This season, he made first team all Mid-American Conference. There we go. I always want to say Mid-Atlantic. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of AEW. Don't they got like the Mid-Atlantic or All Atlantic? I don't know. I don't even. That's neither here or there. Let's talk about Karl Brooks. As you can see, this guy wreaks some havoc. 70 pressures, 12 sacks on the season. He's got 2 forced fumbles. He's got a couple of batted passes as well. This man is strong as an ox. Like, there are times he is Hercules among mere men when he steps foot onto the field. He doesn't necessarily look the 300 pounds, but again, kind of depends how he weighs out, but he moves a lot smoother, a lot cleaner than you expect a 300 pounder to and actually move. Like, this guy shows good burst and suddenness on stunts. He's got a very, very fearsome bull rush, and really, I love how low he plays. Like, and it's not like he doesn't have natural leverage, you know? He just sinks low and gets in, man. He's been very versatile for Bowling Green. He's played anywhere from 0 tech to out to like 7 tech at some points. Now, while he is bendy for the size, again, for the size, this is a guy that's going to be a edge player. This is a guy I think that's firmly going to be an interior player that probably maybe the furthest you want him outside is 3-4 end, but I think he's a bit scheme versatile in that regard. A bit unpolished as a pass rusher. He likes to win solely on his strength, and his go-to is basically that bull rush. So a guy that you would like to see expand his pass rush repertoire or his pass rush toolbox, but a dude that's been darn near unstoppable out there in the MAC. And then we have Kalijah Canty out of Pittsburgh, man. This cat has been very good. He is undersized. We'll get to that in a second when I go over the cons. 6 foot 280. He is a redshirt junior. I believe he's going to the Senior Bowl. I think so. I'm not positive. Go fact check me. You could go check out the current Senior Bowl lineup. But this cat made first team All-American this year. He has been a menace in the ACC for like what feels like the past like 2.5 seasons. Great get off, really does. He wins with relentless hustle. He moves his feet quickly. He's got a unique bend on stunt plays, uses his lack of height to his advantage because no one's getting better leverage than Canty on the field. He's got strong hands. He can be more dominant, honestly, if he adds a few more power moves to his repertoire. Didn't know I was going to say that word twice in this video. But doesn't have many power moves, but he has the power to add power moves is what I'm basically trying to say. This guy is honestly a mismatch nightmare. If you're lined up one-on-one with him, like it's a sucky situation if you're an opposing blocker. I love this dude's movement skills. He's shown a lot of versatility there at Pitt. Now size is going to be the issue. That's just the case. 6 foot 280. I'm not loving it. I'm not. He's short. He's light. However, that hasn't really affected his production there in the ACC. But I gotta imagine it will affect his production in the NFL. He uses his hands, usage leaves a bit to be desired. Kind of unsure about his length, and that kind of scares me a little bit because if this guy's not the first to the point of attack, he's not often winning. If he can't penetrate immediately, he's usually just a non-factor on the play. So like, are we looking at potentially maybe a guy that's really just a passing down option? I don't think that's the case, man, because he's just been so talented for Pittsburgh. Got him as a top 75 prospect. I'm a big fan of this cat's game. On to number 5, Tua Tagovailoa out of USC is a junior, 6'4", 290. I was actually a big fan of his brother, Marlon Tagovailoa, who got drafted by the Eagles a few drafts ago. His cousin is Talanoa Hufanga, who has become a stud at the safety position for the Niners. And he actually has... he's also cousins with former Indianapolis Colt Philly Mola. And this cat has been significant since his freshman freaking season this year. 54 pressures, 13 sacks. Fun fact, yes, he was a first-team All-American this year. This dude has quicks. He knows how to win with leverage. And this guy's typically playing a large part either 5-tech or wider. Now that probably won't be what he does at the NFL level, but a lot of what he does will, I think, translate well to moving more to the interior just with how quick he is. He's shown exceptionally strong hands at the point of attack. He won't allow himself to be contained by blocks. He's got a real sick spin move, and like, it's real nasty. It's real go-to, and we'll get to it when we talk about the cons, because some may say that's his only means of getting disengaged from blockers. But we'll talk about that in a minute. He shows really good willingness in the run game. This dude, ideally, he's just a penetrator that's ready to wreak havoc in the backfield at any moment. You do look at that size, and it's a bit more acceptable in today's NFL. You look at that 290, and you're not too worried about it. But when evaluating, you kind of like tack it as it's a bit tweener. I'm not too worried about it either. Not too worried about it, but I guess you could say, considering where he played for USC, typically over top or outside of the tackle, then it's like, well, what can he really do then on the inside? So it's like, okay, that's kind of true. Length will be a concern. He's got the bend to win, and like he doesn't have the bend to win on the outside, so it's not like you could actually throw this guy on the outside, in my opinion. His power is more explosive, and if a blocker can basically survive that initial push, then Tua Tagovailoa is not going to be he's not going to be someone that could walk someone into the laps of quarterbacks. And again, if you know the spin moves coming, you can game plan for that. You can be like, okay, if I lock him up here, I know he's going to hit me one way with a spin move, and he's just got to find different ways to disengage from blocks, to get blockers from under his pads, whether it's with use them strong, explosive, violent hands to swat those arms away and such. Again, despite that explosiveness or powerful explosiveness, haven't really seen a bull rush from him, but a lot of potential when we're talking about Tully here. And then number 4, I got Mozzie freaking Smith. Got him as a top 50. He made Bruce Feldman's freaks list. He was actually number 1 on Bruce Feldman's freaks list at the beginning of the year, and he ended up being a first team all Big Ten this year. And man, like, you look at his size, 6'3", 330 freaking 7. Yes, he will be at the Senior Bowl, and yes, I am excited. But like, he's not gonna, like, this dude's stupid strong. He really is. Like, he can walk interior blockers right into the laps of ball carriers, of quarterbacks. He can do that. He plays with great leverage. He sets an immovable anchor. He moves exceptionally well for being 330 freaking 7. And oh man, like, he can stack and he can shed. Like, he was huge in the run game, either causing pileups or pursuing ball carriers, because yes, he will pursue you to the sideline. Isn't that freaking wild for a 337 pounder? It is. If he gets his hands on you as a ball carrier, like, he could literally get 2 fingers on you and you're probably going down. The missed tackle rate exceptionally low through his career, so if he could get a hand on you, your good is done, homie. Now, does not have ideal length, which is fine. You look at it, it's like, oh, he's probably been playing the nose. Kind of is what it is. And despite how he'll probably test out at, he wasn't ever really as disruptive, especially in the passing game, as you'd expect. 25 pressures, a sack this season. Kind of expect a little bit more on the down-to-down basis. I still think you look at just his tools and his gifts, and it's like, he's probably going to pan out. He's going to have a high floor for him. He's just going to be a do-good football player at the very least. And I think a lot of teams will be fine with that. I really I really thought hard about moving him up to number 3 on this list. But number 3 is another big boy, Siaki Ika, out of Baylor, 4th-year junior. He will be at the Senior Bowl, 6'4", 350 freaking 7, dude. Former LSU transfer. Decided to follow his defensive coordinator, who became the head coach at Baylor. Followed him over there, and his production popped right back up, because like, he showed really good production initially, then his DC left, and then that year it was like, okay, now they're even moving me out of the lineup. I don't like this. I'm gonna transfer to Baylor. Oh, cool. I'm good again. What the heck? So it might be worth noting that this guy might not be for every scheme. You might see that maybe he is just this space eater at the nose tackle position, but still, like, you like that. He's stupid strong, delivers strong blows. Literally, I love this term, just his hands are like throwing a brick through a windshield. They really are. He continuously pushes the pocket. Only 18 pressures this year. Kind of wish it was a bit better, but kind of is what it is. It was ultimately a down year for Baylor anyway. Does have some nifty dip moves. So he's a little more swifty than your typical 350 pounder. I'll just say that. Again, good at creating pileups, but he can also blow a play up if he wants to. Constantly demands double teams, and he has shown the ability to be able to defeat said double teams. Now he is more of a penetrating nose tackle, and like LSU, they obviously didn't have confidence in Ika and when they were moving more to a 4-3 front. So he might firmly be a 3-4 player. That just might be the case. The production wasn't nearly ideal this season. There are times where he does play too high. Weight might be a concern because like he was playing at 340 at LSU and now he's up to close to 360. So that will be something that might need to be monitored and watched. So again, I'm kind of like tossing and turning about whether to move Mozzie Smith up here ahead of Siaki Ika. I figure I'll figure that out, after the Senior Bowl. I don't. Let's just get some more information. Now on to number 2, because I'm pretty sure you all already know who the top 2 are. I got Brian Brazee out of Clemson. If you've got a problem with pronunciation, take it up with Clemson's freaking roster page. That's how they say it's pronounced. Therefore, I pronounce it as such. And if you're like, you must not watch his games, it's like, you don't get broadcasts on all 22. I'm sorry. Stupid people, I swear. I do want to talk about a few notable, not necessarily injuries, but time missed over the last 2 years. He did have an ACL tear after 4 games in 2021. And then he returned here in 2022 and did miss a game because of a kidney infection. But he missed 2 games because the unfortunate death of his sister from cancer. But we're talking about a very high character individual, a guy that's very giving, a very kind-hearted individual. If you haven't seen interviews with him, man, very, very nice guy. I suggest you go and check those out because he's not that guy on the field. He is not a nice guy on the field. He's got that nasty the NFL loves, man. He's got a motor that just won't quit. Very high effort player from whistle to whistle. He has length that helps him get to the point of attack exceptionally quickly. I love the foot speed. And he combines that with the length, just consistently push the pocket. He dictates the line of scrimmage. Like, honestly, good luck moving this guy off his anchor. He doesn't blink in the face of double teams. And this year, he was very much, because a lot of people will want to take shots at his lack of production. But if you go watch the film, like, he is, another expression I love, he has been the can opener for this offense, whether it's to open up stunt plays for guys like Myles Murphy or KJ Henry or who's the other edge out there, Xavier Thomas, or to basically make the way for a blitz and linebacker like your Trent Simpsons or your Jeremiah Trotters, who that's going to be a stud in 2024. I'm just going to say that right now. Now, he did return from injury, and I thought he looked quality. I don't think the get off his get off is fine enough. It's not. I don't think it's elite. And how he wins is with short area quicks, with frame, quick motor, length, which is basically frame. There are times where he will struggle to shed blockers in the run game. Even when tied up, though, he forces plays to break down, though. Again, this guy's relentless, and I think is a top 10 pick. I think he's going to do exceptionally well at the combine. This is just a guy, like, when pass rushers go flying off the board and we know there's no Jalen Carter, he's going to be like, you know what? Yeah, give me that monster. And then number 1, everyone knew who number 1 was going to be. It's Jalen Kata from Georgia, 6'3", 300 pounds. Had a solid year, 30 pressures, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He did miss 2 games, I believe, this year with an ankle injury, and that ankle injury nagged him all the way through till the SEC championship game. And just now he's talking about, yeah, man, this is the first time I felt 100% since the injury. So that's great to hear. If we could go back to the 2021 season, and you could go check out my when I was talking about that great Georgia defense and all the prospects they had that was first round worthy, and I was like, Jalen Carter's the best. He is the best prospect currently on that roster, and I stand by that. This guy is great. Also, if you don't love him, you gotta love him after this. He used to punt in high school. You don't even need a punter now. You got Jalen Carter. The move over Percy Harvin, the Steelers punter. We got a new heavy punter in the league. Anywho, dude, this guy plays with a lot of power, plays with great leverage. It's hard getting him off his anchor. He can stack and shed better than anyone in this class by himself. He can dictate the line of scrimmage in the run game. He has a nasty swim move that has honestly left. I have seen blockers just left eating dirt. Holy freaking moly. The explosiveness, next level. The get off, it's great. Quickest feet in this class. This combine, he's like, honestly, the only thing he can do at his combine, I think, is hurt his stock. If he ends up testing, like, because you just got to imagine this guy's going to test up with like Jordan Davis and Wyatt, Devontae Wyatt, who were pretty rare athletes as is, but it's like that's kind of the level set, and it's like you look at this guy, it's like, yeah, you should test out where those guys were. He also shows a pretty darn good bend for an interior player, and he's a consistent winner on stunt moves, whether he is the one opening it up, being the can opener, or using that term again, can opener, or the one being called, having his name called to get moving in the hole. Never quits on plays. Love this guy's motor. Biggest, I think, question for some people is, given Georgia and they love to rotate their guys in the trenches, can he be someone that is going to be a 3-down player at the next level? That's not a concern for me. Someone brought up in the comments, was like, man, was he tired? Was he not on the field a lot during the semifinals? It was like that dude was on the field for 52 snaps, and he was still being hella disruptive. He had like 5 or 6 pressures in that game. Yeah, no, I'm not worried about does he have the tank to go the distance. This man is like Rocky 2. He's going the distance and he's winning. He's winning. So again, kind of like that's going to be the thing, man. Can he test out to the level of those guys like Wyatt and Jordan Davis? That's going to be something to monitor. Also, like, again, if you're going to kind of nitpick, it's like there were some times like double teams were super effective against him. Like he's a Pokemon. Double team, super effective. Not a lot of critical hits, though, on Jalen Carter. But kind of just nitpicking. Again, those instances are like few and far between. This guy's a phenomenal prospect. But that's it for the video. Before I head off, I do want to mention one guy I know people are going to talk about, like a Colby Wooden in the comments, or a Tyler Davis, a Keandre Coburn. But I want to bring up Dexter from Florida, who was someone that was consistently talked about as like a French first rounder, who had a really impressive start of the season. Alex from Hail Mary Sports, I reference him a lot because we talk a lot about prospects. He's just that I go back and look more at the second half of the season for Dexter, and I think what did I specifically say to him? Because I want to just make sure I'm referencing the right games. I know I went back, watched the LSU game, and it was like he virtually disappeared. But what was the other? It wasn't A&M, was it? I don't think it was A&M. It was Georgia. So the LSU and the Georgia game against NFL caliber talent. Then again, LSU this year, they lost a lot of their NFL caliber talent. So he was facing first year starters for the most part. Just kind of disappeared on the field. And it's like, even with Gervin Dexter, there are some concerns. Like some of the concerns that I wrote down prior to the season, I feel like kind of still check out. That he is a very raw prospect. I still have a third round grade on him. He's literally number 11 on my list. So spoiler alert, haha, it's a top 10 and a bonus one, because I know a lot of y'all are gonna just shuffle through this freaking video and just look at, oh, who do you have at 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and blah blah blah, and you're gonna be like, where's Gervon Dexter? And I'll be like, just watch the end of the video. Just watch the whole video. I'm tired of answering these in the comment section. But I understand not everybody has the time. But I still think he's also a guy that plays consistently too high. Being that 6'6", you're going to worry about him just getting leverage in general. And I feel like he has the ability, he has the flexibility to be able to sink that low. He just needs to do a little bit better job of that. And I think that'll kind of like solve some of these cases where he just kind of disappeared in those games. But yeah, that's my thoughts on him. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.